I am heading out on a dream trip that I have been thinking about since I was a young boy. The glacial carved valleys, trout-filled lakes, and true wilderness of this section of Wyoming have been on my mind for many years, but life is busy, and I have never made this pilgrimage until now. We're going to be backpacking deep into the Wind River Range in search of views, the elusive golden trout, and possibly do some peak bagging as well. My intent for this trip was to get an overview of the Wind Rivers and just do what felt right. However, I'll be honest, I got a strong case of fishing fever and spent a lot of my trip fishing. Let's see if I manage to find some golden trout and that unpressured wilderness fishing that I love so dearly. This trip has been long overdue, and although my first will definitely not be my last time to the Wind River Range, after a long drive across the flat expanse that is southern Wyoming, I found myself on the doorstep of this magical place, and let's see what the Wind River Range of Wyoming had in store for me. Good morning. It is 6:45 and I'm just hitting my trail. And the plan for today is to head about 13 miles up to a lake where I'm going to spend 2 nights and kind of do some day trips out of there. But definitely feel the nip in the air as fall is rearing its head. I just got to the first vista, really showcasing where I'm going to be spending the next 3.5 days, and I could not be more excited. Just look at those mountains behind me, starting to see some of the very first lakes as well. And feeling strong, feeling good. Definitely, I would say, looking at the mileage I've gone, I think it's going to be a little longer than I expected, but I have all day. The pack's feeling great, so we're going to keep on cruising and use these views to fuel the next little bit. I have made it to the first massive lake, and I have not taken my pack off for 4 hours. So looking forward to getting this weight off my shoulders for a little bit, getting some food in me. And I think the lake I'm going to be camping at is only a couple miles more. I think I'll be another maybe hour and a half, 2 hours. But I think we're starting to get into that zone that I was so excited to get to. My plan for today was basically get as far as possible because the Wind Rivers are so big and the access isn't great. So you really got to go a long ways to get to the good stuff. Good stuff being the Alpine and the big lakes and the golden trout, the stuff that I'm after up here. But this lake is just massive. I've been looking at the maps of this area a ton leading up to this trip, but nothing prepares you for the sheer size of some of these lakes and mountains being up here and getting these views. First Wind River fish right here. Beautiful rainbow. Well, I saw some fish swimming around, and at first none were interested in the grasshopper I had on. They were all kind of subsurface, and I wasn't even planning on fishing at this lake, but when I saw the fish, I had to wet a line, take a little break, and right as I had my backpack on, ready to leave, got a beautiful little rainbow. Gave me a few great jumps. Did not expect to see rainbows in here, honestly. Was thinking it was gonna be brook trout, cutthroat, and some goldens. So that was a pleasant surprise and good start to the day. Excited to see this lake around camp, and I think this afternoon we'll just do some fishing and hang out. I love all mountains far too much, but these are meeting and exceeding all expectations on the views front, and cannot wait to spend some more time here. Getting close to this lake I'm gonna camp at, and I'll be honest, I am feeling pooped. I guess when you have 35 pounds on your back, the distance is farther than you think when you're used to just running with a running vest. Who knew? But I'm gonna be excited to take this off, give my glutes a break, and not have to have a heavy pack on tomorrow for sure. I also think I was a little sandbagged with the distance. I think it's gonna be definitely closer to 14 than 12 miles, but we're really getting to the Alpine now, just kind of the last few strands of trees, and really excited to see this camp spot and relax and catch a few fish this afternoon. Wow. I've made it to the lake that I'm going to be camping at tonight, and I'm so excited to get here. The wind rivers are exceeding all expectations, which I thought they would, which I don't know if that means they're still exceeding expectations. What an incredible area. The amount of water, the glacier carved granite, like, it doesn't get any better. I think I'm gonna go find the best campsite I can, make a quick cup of coffee, and relax and enjoy the rest of this afternoon. Doesn't get much better than this. And as a cherry on top, there's some fish feeding down here as well. So I'm gonna have some coffee, a Stroop waffle, see if we can catch a fish, and the plan is to set up camp on the other side of the lake. Almost everyone always camps right when they get to a lake because they're tired, they want to put their packs down. But if you go to the other side is where the trail comes in, you can often find a lot more solitude. So we're gonna scope it out over there after this much deserved break. Oh, that was a nice fish. We've done it. We've caught a gorgeous cutthroat here right from our coffee spot. He came up and hit this hopper hard. Unfortunately, the first fish at this lake, I broke off right as I was grabbing him. I lost my fly, and I always feel horrible when there is a fly in a fish's mouth. But I was looking at my line, and when it was on my pack, it was rubbing. So it was all kind of frayed. But what an incredible moment to be making my coffee here from my coffee spot, cast off this rock and have that cutthroat just hammer it. It was a really good sized fish, incredible fighter, and absolutely gorgeous. The fact that there's gonna be a lot more fish like that makes me so, so happy. And I'm gonna make sure I'm taking better care of them than I did on that guy. We know there's fish in this lake. Let's go find a camp spot, and I think an afternoon of fishing sounds just right. Look at that beautiful cutthroat. Oh my God, just chomping the hoppers. Doesn't get much better than that. Wow. There he goes. Had some GoPro issues, but that's okay. I think we're gonna catch plenty of fish this trip. Well, I just had another monster fish take my bug. Man, this lake is gonna be fun, but I think I need to get to some 4X tippet here because these things are beasts, and my little kind of 5X tippet is just not cutting it. Missed him. Nice fish. Missed another guy. Missed him. Well, the fishing is fantastic, but I cannot say the same about me. I have lost 3 flies already, and I only wanted to fish hoppers, and I think I only have 1 hopper left. Moral of the story, always bring more hoppers, especially in September. I'm down to like 3X now, so I think it should be good, but I gotta conserve this last hopper. So I think it is time to get camp set up, relax a little, and I will definitely be fishing later and give a little break from this kind of bad mojo of losing all my hoppers. Let's head. I think we're gonna set up camp here. I hope I'm doing some justice to this magnificent mountain range. These views just set my heart ablaze right now, and I don't have a tired bone in my body, even though I slept really bad last night and hiked a long time. There's something about mountain views that just energize me so much, and these ones are hard to beat. At the last second, I splurged and brought 2 pillows. Figure if my sleep's a little better, that extra weight will mean nothing. So we'll see how that pays off. And I also am using a quilt for the very first time, which I'm kind of excited to try out. Hopefully I don't freeze to death out here. Here's one. Look at that beautiful fish. Wow. There she goes. Weight is a toothpick. My arms are sore. What a fighter. Oh my God. Well, I think I might have just had the camera off when I thought it was on, which breaks my heart, but we just caught an absolute monster. This lake is so fun. Got another beauty here. Nice fish. Rainbow. That guy just snapped off my last hopper. I was just getting him up and he wrapped around my hands. Goes to show it's hard to fish without a net. Oh man, that was a nice fish. Pure rainbow, fought like hell. It's amazing that there's rainbows in here. I did not expect that, and I am gonna really be struggling for flies here. Bring more flies than you think you need. It's like the best day of my life, but also a hard day with losing flies at the same time. Well, the streamer caught something here at the outlet, or the inlet, that is. Beautiful rainbow. He's got a little bit of cutthroat in him. See if we can catch one more on the streamer. I messed up the footage yet again with the camera, where I held up the fish and the camera was off. Oh, there's one. Smaller guy. Woo! What a strike though. The smallest fish of the day is the only guy I'm getting on film. Back at camp, and this place is pretty much perfection. What an incredible first day. I'm gonna make some beef pasta marinara here soon and just enjoy this lovely spot. The fishing here has exceeded all expectations. Big cutthroats and rainbows and some cut bows. I landed probably like 6 or 7, but I really botched a lot of the filming. I'm playing this game of trying to save battery for the cameras to make sure I can like complete the trip and not run out of battery right when I see some golden trout or something. So speaking of that, I better shut up now, enjoy these views, and gonna make some dinner here. Just watch the sun go down. 10 out of 10 sunset sitting here above this lake. Got that golden color painting the granite behind me. As soon as the sun's down, you can feel that little bit of chill in the air with fall on its way here. But I think it's time for me to put away the camera. I'll catch you in the morning for some more Wind River exploring. What an amazing spot, and I hope this has given you a little taste of the Wind River range of Wyoming here. It's a stunning morning here in Wyoming. Just having some coffee and some breakfast, and then I'm gonna get moving up higher. And still kind of my plan is a little tentative today. I'm gonna see how I feel. There's cutthroat arising, which gets me excited. Perhaps we even find a golden trout when we get to the higher elevation lakes, but We will see. When I was planning this trip, I found so much stuff I want to do. I have at least 3 or 4 trips that I need to do. And this one wasn't going to be the one that's really focusing golden trout. That would have been in a different section of the range. But I just thought this was the perfect place to introduce myself to the Wind Rivers, hopefully introduce some of you to them, and also for those who have been here, show you a little bit of the magic that you might have missed from the time you were here. Perfectly still morning. The temperatures aren't too bad. For the beginning of September, this is as nice as it gets. This has got to be one of the most beautiful alpine basins I have ever seen. A part of me almost came up here to camp last night, and honestly, next time I definitely would, because these lakes with the waterfalls and the reflection and these peaks, I stopped and wet my line a couple times with no action. Haven't really seen anything rising, so didn't expect much, but it was just too beautiful with the sun just cresting over the ridgeline not to get the fly rod out. I'm gonna head up to a little higher lake that I'm crossing my fingers might have golden trout. And from there, I'm gonna make the decision if I'm gonna do a climb to one of these summits around me. Generally, when I have 2 options and one of them's harder, as a life philosophy, I always like to go for the harder one. But today we might just spend more time here fishing, because I figure if I get to the summit, get down, not only will I be more fatigued for the rest of the trip, but I just won't have as much time to enjoy this area and really explore. There's no wrong decision here, but it's a hard decision nevertheless. Feel the elevation. I think I'm around 10,500 feet here. Well, we've got some fish rising at this lake. Now we have to figure out if I can fool them and if they might be golden trout. Still nothing yet. The fish are feeding out there. It looks like they're taking emergers. Couldn't ask for a more beautiful place to fish. Around the lake we go. Well, still no action, and the frustrating part is I can never cast out where the fish are rising. There is too much in the middle of the lake for my 4-weight, so I'm not sure if my fly is to blame or something else. But it is 10 o'clock, so I have to make a decision if I'm gonna go up to the summit, which is actually right behind me. And with the fish rising right now, I think I'm gonna hang around here, see if I can fool a fish, really explore this area, and come back and do this summit or Gannett or both sometime in the future. If you're disappointed in me not doing my summit, let me know. I'm probably equally disappointed in myself, but there's just so much to do here. It's a playground. You got to pick and choose. I've had a lot of summits this summer, and although it breaks my heart and it feels wrong not to get to the highest point, this might be a situation where it's the right call. We have a big fish right here. Spooked him. Damn, that is a big trout. Finally saw one cruising the bank. That's a great sign. I have switched flies for the millionth time. Well, it happened again. Just had a really nice fish cruising the bank. I stripped in this little kind of midge pupa I had, and sure enough, as soon as he saw it, he went for it. And as a common theme for this trip, I struck way too hard. For sure frustrating to miss that fish after fishing so long. Finding the right fly and finally being able to visually see one and then breaking it off. It actually broke off right at my 5X tippet I'd put on. I'm only 4X here on out. I'm too heavy-handed on this trip to do anything more delicate. We're gonna continue our adventure. We're gonna circumnavigate the lake, keep the rod out and look for some cruising fish along the banks that we can visually see, figure out what fish are in this lake, and then kind of continue up through this basin. The circumnavigation has been gorgeous, but doesn't seem that this is the side where the fish are hanging out. But I am getting to where a family of mergansers was just sitting. So we're hoping they're better fishermen than me, which I think we can take as a fact. Been a cool adventure around this lake either way. But I am surprised we're not seeing more fish cruising this bank. Look at that. It's just gorgeous. Oh, hey, Marmot. There comes a time in every man's life where he must gracefully accept defeat. After circumnavigating this lake, basically all the way back to where I started, I did not see a single fish feeding along the bank, which really surprises me because that one that I missed, which I only have myself to blame, I saw two in that area feeding along the bank in quick succession, so thought we were gonna find that throughout the lake, and unfortunately did not. It's been 3 hours, which means instead of climbing that peak, which I would have been about done with, I circumnavigated a lake with nothing to show for it, but sometimes that's how going on an adventure goes. The big fish that I saw out in the middle got me excited, but not gonna be landing one today. This is gonna be my first lake that skunks me. And I have the peak looking down at me, teasing me the whole time, which is a little unfair, but that's how it goes. Another incredible lunch spot here. Kind of worked my way around this lake to the far side a little bit. Haven't seen any fish whatsoever, but I think I'm gonna go out to this one kind of point that allows me to cast to some deeper water and try while I'm over here. And if not, I think I'm gonna slowly work my way back to camp, knowing there's a ton of little lakes and stream sections in between. Well, as expected, no fish up here. I went a long ways from where the inlet comes in to try to find some deeper water, but it's time to go find some greener fishing pastures and work our way slowly back. We're 7.5 miles in, so we'll have plenty of adventuring around today, and I couldn't ask for a better place to explore. Catching fish is always just the cherry on top of exploring, especially when you're going places that you've never been before. You know what they say, if you can't beat them, you gotta join them. Since I've had no luck in the lakes themselves, I'm gonna try these little streams in between to see if that's where the fish are sitting. Well, that broke my spirit. These last few runs were as fishy looking as I've ever seen. And in my experience, these channels between lakes usually harbor a lot of fish. It's just not happening for me, so I think it's time for me to now get all the way to the other side of this lake, back to the trail, and start heading towards camp. Well, I just met two guys and swapped some fishing stories, but unfortunately I did learn that 18-inch fish I had earlier that I broke that 5X tippet off on was indeed a golden trout, as that's all that is in that lake. So I'm probably not gonna sleep tonight thinking about why I struck so hard, thinking about why I didn't get rid of that 5X tippet when I switched back to a bigger bug. But that goes to show that that lake was so challenging because they were all goldens. They are out in the deep, not cruising the shoreline like the rainbows and cutthroats. That was too close for comfort for that kind of Wind River golden beast that I was after. That's a part of the allure of the golden trout. They're so hard to catch, so hard to find a nice one, and they will get stuck in your brain for a long time. It's time for me to go to my little cove, take a swim and catch some cutthroats, and enjoy the rest of my day. Oh, missed one. I think these are little goldens in here. Oh! There's one. Another tiny guy. Haven't been able to catch the big papa. Well, 10 hours later and I'm almost back to camp, and I got to catch a golden trout. Definitely not the size I was after, but today we got to scout out some amazing country. We did get to technically catch some golden trout, and we did have a 16 to 20 inch golden trout on that would have been the trophy of this trip. It's amazing how fast this day's gone. A part of me wishes I got to summit that peak, but at the same time, I would have not been able to explore this area so much. So for the next time I come out here, I can definitely summit and know the places I want to fish and the places I want to camp and explore. Sometimes the first time you go out somewhere, you just got to kind of scope it out, get a feel of the land, and today I have done that in spades. What a fish! Jumper! Oh my God. Look at that beauty. We're back, baby. Here she goes. I've missed this lake. This is what it's all about. Home sweet home. What a great welcome back to my home lake here. As soon as I got down below the waterfall, caught 3 lovely fish like in close succession. And then I was walking over here, I missed a couple and caught 1 more off camera. This lake is so fun, but it's time that I put away a few things, get some more calories in me and start winding down for the evening. But I'll definitely be doing an afternoon fish as well, just because this is my last night here. Might as well catch a couple more of those beautiful cutthroats. Nice fish. Oh my God, that's a big guy. Look at that meaty boy. With that guy, I have to save my battery for tomorrow, and I just want to enjoy the rest of the cutthroat at this lake without dealing with the filming. That was a nice guy to end the footage on, and I'm going back to the waterfall to fill up on water, and I'm only 10 steps when I catch that guy, so I think there'll be a number of those fish between now and the water and back to camp. What an awesome day out here in the Wind Rivers. I traveled around 16 miles today, so definitely got a good feel for the place. I know I said I was done for the night, but I had to tell you this story now. I went to fill up my water at the waterfall just because it was more pristine water, and on the way back, I caught the fish of the trip. This cutthroat, I got some footage on my phone, was an absolute monster. I don't know exactly how big he was, but the heft on this guy was no joke. To be able to catch a fish like that on a hopper is a dream come true. And after a really frustrating day of fishing and a long day of fishing, it was awesome to end it on a high note, and it makes me feel a little better about not climbing my peak, because I doubt I would have had the energy to go catch that guy, because I would have got the water down here at the lake and been lazy. Happy ending. I will catch you tomorrow. Camp is about down, and somehow I slept in. I didn't wake up until 8:30, which is so not like me, but I was super restless last night. I got up a bunch of times in the middle of the night, which is always annoying, but I will say that the night sky here might be one of the best I've ever seen. The plan for today is a little unclear. I was looking at last night a lot, and my plan was to spend one more night out here and wind up really close to the car so I could get up really early, get to the car Sunday morning, and be back home at a decent hour. But unfortunately, when I look at it, there's nothing close to the car that I really want to camp at today. All those lakes that I first saw were just kind of in the woods, doesn't have this alpine feel, doesn't have the views. And to be honest, I'd rather sleep in my car kind of near the trailhead or somewhere on the way home, get a few hours out of the drive. So I think today, especially with this late start, my plan is to work my way back to the car. I think I'll probably go the way I came. The only other way I was looking at that I wanted to do adds on, I think it's another like 8 miles, so it ends up being like 18, or I guess add 6 miles and a good amount of climbing. But with this late start, I'm thinking I might enjoy it here, have my coffee, have a breakfast skillet, which I've never had, but excited to try this. Maybe even do a little more fishing here in the morning, catch one more cutthroat to say goodbye to this lake, and slowly make my way back and kind of really enjoy the sights on the way down. I feel like yesterday was supposed to be the kind of peak climbing overview day, and it really became more of a fishing day, and nothing wrong with that. We had some amazing fishing, especially back here at this lake. But I think today I really want to take it a little easier, really enjoy this last day here in the winds, knowing tomorrow is going to be drive a long ways, get everything unpacked, and get my life ready for a early Monday morning start. So today is going to be kind of the farewell, going to take my time, going to enjoy this breakfast, enjoy sleeping in, and breakfast skillet, pretty decent. I will say last night I went on the peak one. It was a coconut chicken curry, and I think it was the best backpacking meal I've ever had. So highly recommend that one. I'm packed up, I'm fed, I'm caffeinated, and it's time to hit the trail. But before we do, we're gonna head back to right below that waterfall, the inlet to this lake, to our honey hole for one last fish to see if we can get one more fish to fare goodbye to this lake. First fish of the day. Not even to the waterfall yet. What a beauty. Look at that cutthroat. Goes. We were only a third of the way to the waterfall and already got distracted. The fish are cruising the banks and feeding this morning. Not a bad start to the morning. They're feeding. Yeah, they're eating something smaller. I really don't want to change flies. There's one. Whoa! No fly change needed. At least one's going for the stimulator. Come here, buddy. Beautiful. Wow. There he goes. There's one. Whoa! Jumper. Whoa! Smaller guy. Yeah, little rainbow. Beautiful pure rainbow. Look at that guy. Little silver bullet. See if we can get one more without changing. There's a big boy out there. There he is. What's going on? I'm wrapped around my guides. We have remedied the situation. Oh, beautiful bow. Oh. Oh! Like that guy. Ah, perfect. Well, our honey hole still had that magic. In about half an hour, caught 5 more fish. And I definitely didn't have the bug on that they were feeding on. A majority of the fish were rejecting it. They were eating some midges or some smaller bugs, it looks like. But still some went up for the stimulator, which prevented me from having to change flies, which is always a godsend. That does it for our honey hole. It's a good farewell to that spot. Being the weekend, it's been a little bit of a zoo, and I usually don't like to film when there's anyone next to me. But cast the line a few more times on my lake on the other side with no success, and just have made the hard decision I'm not going to be able to go to that last lake that I was eyeing, because I'm looking at the timing with my late start and all my fishing. Even if I hustle up there and only fish for like 30 or 40 minutes, I won't be back to the car until well into the dark hours of 8 or 9. And it's not really the mileage that would kill me, but I don't really feel like walking back in the dark today. So I'm gonna have to skip a lake that I really wanted to get to today with rumors of Goldens, and just kind of go back the way I came, unfortunately. I just didn't have a really clear plan this morning and wasn't hustling to make this happen. So we'll explore a little on the way back and take it in either way. You guys, I'm getting some FOMO of not making the turn to that last lake I wanted to fish, just because that was kind of on my plan to do. And now I'm kind of regretting not just getting back to the car late at night. But it's way too late now. And to make up for it, I've bushwhacked about 20 minutes around this last really epic lake. Found a cove all to myself. So I'm gonna take a dip, enjoy some lunch, and enjoy these last pure Wind River views. From here on out, we get into the woods a little bit more, and there is some beautiful vistas here and there, but this is the last truly epic spot. Our consolation prize is not too bad, luckily. And from here on out, I'm gonna get everything situated fully in the pack, break the rod down, and truck it on out to my car. I think from here it's about 10 and a half miles, and fairly flat, so I'm gonna definitely be getting back there at a decent time. Oh. This was the Wind Rivers. This was just my very first taste. I know this place is special because I'm already itching to get back and beating myself up for not getting back to my car at night to see a little bit more of it. But this place is a playground and there's more than I could fit in. I hope that I did a little bit of justice to this truly magnificent place, and looking forward to coming back. It turns out I grossly miscalculated the amount of time it takes to go down versus uphill with a pack on. And I also discovered I'm now a fast packer. I just started jogging a little bit, then I made a trail coffee, and before you knew it, I was flying down here all the way to the car. And what I thought was gonna take like 3 hours was like 1 hour. Unfortunately, that means we could have got to that last lake, but I'll just have to wait for the next trip. And the good news is I probably have enough time to get home late tonight. So all day on Sunday, I can have the Sunday scaries and think about what could have been with a massive golden trout at that lake we never made it to. Thank you so much for following along on this one. If you want to see more backpacking adventures, some climbing and fishing, or just overall big adventures like this into beautiful places, a like and subscribe is appreciated. And I will catch you on that next adventure and catch you sometime in the future back in the Wind Rivers here.